Hi everybody, my name's Mike. I'm the Fitness and Wellness Coordinator here at Applewood. Today I want to take you through one of our standing strength classes. So I'm going to start you off. We're going to go through a warm-up and then 3 different strength training circuits, and then we're going to finish up with a little cool down and some stretches. So even though this is our class is called standing strength, you do want to have a chair or something nearby if you need to make any alterations or adjustments to the exercises. A lot of these you can also use a wall for a little extra stability or support. But so we're going to start you off with the warm-up. We're going to start with our hips. So we're just going to start by marching in place. This will be 10 on each leg, 20 total. What we're working on here is just driving your knee up to about 90 degrees. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Working on that single leg stance, keeping a lot of tension in your core. Good stability. You can place your hands on a wall if it helps you a little bit with balance. After our marches in place, we're going to move on to butt kicks. Again, you can use a chair or a wall for a little bit of support. But what we're doing here is we're just bringing our heels up towards your butt. Keep your knee pointed down. And again, we're going to do 10 on each, 20 total. Got about 10 more. And just working on really squeezing the back of your knee, trying to get that heel up as close to your butt as you can. After 20 of those, we're going to do our hip abductions. And again, we can use a wall or a chair for a little bit of balance, but we're going to keep your legs straight, and you're just going to reach your leg onto the side just a little bit. Just as far as you can while maintaining balance. So you're just squeezing your butt, driving your leg out to the side, and we'll do 10 on each. 4, 10. Very good. And then our last one here, we're called book openers. And again, a chair or a wall for a little bit of support. But you're going to drive your leg up, reach your hip out to the side, and then lower it down nice and slow. So it's up, out, and down. Up, out, and down. And these we'll do 5 on each. Bring the knee up, out, and then down nice and slow. So again, you're just getting used to kind of shifting your weight, maintaining that single leg stance, so working a little bit on balance and single leg strength. So that's a good amount for the hips, and then we're going to move on to warming up your shoulders a little bit. So these are called shoulder cars. So what you're going to do, you're going to have your arms straight, move from your shoulder, come up as high as you can. Once you get to the top, you're just going to turn your palm and then come all the way around. So you're just making a real big circle with your shoulder here, forward all the way back, come all the way around. So you're only going to come as far up as you can. Once it kind of feels tight, you feel a little tension there, then you're going to turn your palm, come all the way around. After those, we're going to move on to arm circles. So for these, arms out to the side, you're going to be like a T. We're going to do 20 forward, and then we're going to do 20 backward. And we're just making little circles with our shoulders here. And keeping your shoulders down and back. Nice little circles. And then last one for our arms here, we're going to do what I call arm swings. And these, you're just reaching across your chest as far as you can, then squeezing your shoulder blades together, driving your arms out backwards. I like to alternate one hand on top, then the other. You can really do what's most comfortable for you. And we'll do 20 of these. All right, so now that we're nice and warmed up, we're going to move into our first circuit of exercises. So we'll have 3 exercises. Today I'm just going to demonstrate each of them for you and show you one working set. In your workouts, you can do anywhere from 2 to 3 sets of these if you're so motivated. But the 3 exercises are going to be our sit to stand, a single arm row, and then a front shoulder raise. So these will all be performed at 10 to 15 reps. For our first one, our sit to stand, if you had weight, whether it be a dumbbell, a water jug, sandbag, anything you have kind of at home, you can add a little bit of weight to it as well. Hold it right underneath your chin. Don't necessarily need that. So what we're working on here is you're just reaching your butt back down to the chair, drive through your heels, come all the way up. So you want a good amount of tension in your core on the way down, driving through your heels and driving your knees out on the way up. And a general rule of thumb with these is that you're going to want to take a breath in, keep your tension on the way down, and then exhale as you're coming up. So we're going to do about 10 more, doing your best to keep the weight on the outside of your heels, and make sure you're lowering yourself down nice and slow, so you don't want to just plop on down to the seat. We got about 5 more. Good. And try your best not to rock. You want to do your best to lower yourself down real slow and then pop right back up. So you don't want to have too much of a rock or anything. Very good. So after our sit to stands, we're going to have a single arm row. So for this, there's a few different ways you can go about it. One, we can go into kind of a staggered stance position here, arms straight, and then you're going to pull right through your chest. Forward. So you're getting your shoulder blade down and back, elbow in real tight to your rib cage. Try to breathe out as you're pulling up. Okay, 5 more. And the other way you can perform these is if you had a table or a chair, something very stable, you can put one hand there, walk your feet back a little bit, and then again, we want that nice flat back, and then you're going to perform the exact same movement with your arm. So the shoulder comes down and back, elbow in real tight by your rib cage. And you can even do these without any weight. But really, any resistance that you can use, anything you can hold in your hand, would be beneficial. And that's 7 more. And again, here, a chair, even your bed, just something that gives you a little bit of support. Can be used for that exercise. And then our last one here is going to be the front shoulder raise. So again, this one you can perform with weight or without. If you have weight, you're going to hold them right out in front. So shoulders down and back, and then you want a lot of tension in your core. So you're going to squeeze your butt, squeeze your abs, keep that all together. It's going to help you raise the weight. And then with your shoulder raise, you want to have your palms facing in, and the dumbbells you're going to raise up to just about shoulder height. So you can see here I'm not straight out in the middle, and I'm not completely out to the sides. I'm kind of like right in between. And then again, you can perform these with your thumbs up, arms straight. Don't even need any weight. You're just going to hold at the top a little bit. So if you were doing multiple rounds of those, what we would do now, we would go back, we would perform another set of the sit-to-stands, another set of your row, and another set of the front raise. For today, I'm just going to take you through one. So now we're going to move on to our second set, or second circuit rather. So these three exercises, we're going to have a march in place, a neutral grip overhead press, and then standing chops. So the next exercise, this one's always a little more effective if you can do it with a little bit of weight. So again, you can hold 2 plastic water jugs, suitcases, whatever you kind of need. And all we're going to do here is pretty much just like our warm-up. So tension everywhere, so you're going to squeeze your butt, squeeze your core, good strong grip, and you're just going to drive your knee up. Our focus now is going to be trying to hold that position just a little bit longer. So you're alternating sides, so you can get used to shifting your weight back and forth. And make sure you have a lot of tension everywhere. So if you notice I'm not doing anything with the dumbbells, they're just staying there nice and steady at my side. That's exactly what we're looking for here. We just want to see the legs moving, a lot of tension, nice and stable. Very good. So moving on from here is going to be our neutral grip overhead press. Again, this one don't necessarily need dumbbells for, but if you have them, that's great. So your neutral grip just means that your elbows are in front and your palms are going to face one another. So from here, you're just going to press straight up over your head and then lower them down nice and slow. So this one we're only going to do 10 of, and again, don't necessarily need the dumbbells, so we can just go through the movement without weight as well, trying to get as much extension as we can out here at your elbows. And then our third one for this circuit is called is a standing chop rather. So for this, we'll have one dumbbell. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be a dumbbell, just something that's stable. You're going to start off to your side and then come up and over your shoulder. So this one kind of almost looks like you're shoveling snow a little bit. But our main goal here is, again, a lot of tension everywhere. So you're squeezing your abs, squeezing your glutes, and try to exhale as you're lifting. So we'll do 10 in each direction. And we'll go the other way. So again, you're coming, having the weight on the outside of your hip, and then kind of throwing it up and over your shoulder in a slow and controlled motion. Very good. And then, so much like the first one, you can do 2 to 3 rounds of that grouping if you wanted to. But today we're going to move on to our third circuit now. So our third circuit is going to consist of a stationary lateral lunge or hip shift, what we call side bends, and then a calf raise. So these last three. For our lateral lunge or hip shift, you're going to get a wider stance than you normally would. Should still be comfortable for you though. So we don't want our normal stance where we're in here. You're going to be slightly outside of your hips. And then now we're just going to work on shifting our weight from one leg to the other. So kind of place your hands on your hips or across your shoulders. You're just going to sit your butt back, bend your knee a little bit, and then bring yourself back up. Okay, so you just sit your butt back a little bit. Keep your heel on the ground. Make sure you're driving through the heel of whatever side you're shifting to. So these are slow and controlled. It's as much about just getting control over your hips as it is actually moving. And here's an example. You can bring your feet in even a little bit closer. And if this is all we have, that's okay. We just want to kind of get in tune with moving the hips a little bit better, especially laterally. Very good. And then our next exercise is what we call a side bend. So this one, you just need one dumbbell or weight. You'll hold that in one side, and then your feet about hip width apart. I've had clients call this too the teacup exercise. You'll understand in a minute. So I like to put one hand behind my head, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to lower the weight down on one side, just so I feel a pretty big stretch here in the obliques, and then squeeze, come all the way back up. So it's down, get a good stretch, come back up. So I'm only going as far as I can where I have control and I feel comfortable holding the weight. And you'll see I'm keeping the dumbbell right in by my side. It's not really moving all that much at all. So these will do 10 on each side. And with these, you want to exhale on the way up, kind of take a breath in on the way down. And eventually after a couple of these, you'll start to feel it in the obliques there. And again, much like the other exercise, it'll be more effective with the weight, but we can also do it without. And then our last one here is going to be a calf raise. And then this one, again, feet about hip width apart. All you're going to do, you're going to go up onto your toes. So we're going to try to get onto the balls of your feet. Hold at the top for a second, and try to control yourself on the way down. And then these, again, we're going to be 10 to 15. So this one, much like the other ones, if you need to, you can use a chair or the wall for a little bit of balance. Trying to get up onto the balls of your feet. All right. And then that concludes kind of our strength training circuits. So moving on. From there, we'll just do a little cool down. We'll do some shoulder stretches and some lower body stretches as well. So you can have a seat somewhere. We're going to have your rear delt stretch. So you're just pulling your arm across your chest, applying a little bit of pressure, and you're just going to hold 10-15 seconds. Very good. After that, you can do a single leg hamstring stretch. So this one, you're going to extend one leg all the way out, other leg bent, and then you're just going to slide your hands down your leg as far as you can until you start to feel a big stretch in the back of the hamstring or the back of the calf there. And again, just like a 10 to 15 second hold. And then our last one here is going to be just a low back stretch. So for this, get your feet nice and wide, and you're just going to reach down to the ground. Try to get as close as you can to the ground. You want to really feel it in the low back, mid back area there. So just leaning forward, takes a good stretch. Very good. And that concludes our standing strength class for today. Hope that's helpful for everybody, and hope to see you all soon.